Welcome back, everybody, here to Kraft Field in South Charleston, West Virginia, where we are here for the nightcap of today's first day of action from the 2021 Softball State Tournament. Chris Kidd with you, Joe Mounts, our engineer, with Garrett Lester, our camera operator for today's action, as the winner of this game moves into the state championship round tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and a chance to win a state championship and have the winner of the losers bracket having to defeat them twice in order to claim the state title, as it is Wahama against Ritchie County here this evening, as they have been two of the top teams in Class A all season long. This will be the fourth matchup between these two schools here tonight. And all three of the regular season matchups have gone handily to Wahama, who comes in here undefeated and the only undefeated team in West Virginia. Again, this is the first state tournament appearance in Wahama's school history. They're coached by Chris Noble, has a 48-3 record in 3 years. Coaches are Mike Wolf and Todd Kitchen. On the other end for Ritchie County, they're making their first state tournament appearance in 6 years. Their last state title was in 2011. They are head coached by Dave Moser, along with coaches Eric and Abby Burgess. And again, Moser has won 29 sectional titles in 37 years as the head coach at Ritchie County. 17 trips to the state tournament now for him, along with 2 state titles and 7 state runner-up. And he's going to have to go through his arch nemesis this season to try and get into the championship round, as the loser of this game will have to come back tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. and face Petersburg to see who gets into the finals, as it'll be Ritchie County as the designated visiting team, Wahama the home team, as Mikey Living will take the mound for the second time today, and her first offering into Pittman fouled out of play, 0-1. And Alyssa Pittman was 2 for 2 in the win over Midland Trail this morning, had 2 singles and a walk. And she also had several great defensive plays out in the field as well. And Living is the only pitcher that Wahama has known this season. She has thrown every pitch of every inning for this Wahama ball club through 25 games. And thus no real backup option for the White Falcons. They are going to live and die as far as she will take them. And this morning she was able to gut out a very difficult 6-5 win over Petersburg. As this one hot shot towards short in the hole, going to be a tough play for Noble. Long throw and not in time as Pittman beats it out for an infield hit. Again, we saw that explosiveness and that speed from Pittman already today, and now having her on the base path will be a danger. Again, she was a .464 hitter on the year. She leads the team with 16 stolen bases on the year, one of those coming already this morning in the win over Midland Trail, as it'll bring up Marissa Jeffrey. Jeffrey 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a strikeout in the game this morning. Pitch in for a strike from Living, 0-1. Again, Wahama won the 2 regular season games, 5-0 and 5-0, and then won 6-0 in the Little Kanawha Conference title game just a couple of weeks ago. That pitch misses. Snap throw down to first. Pittman had a large lead, and Wolf checking on her, but she's able to get back to the bag easy. The defense for Wahama, Barnett's in left field, Christian in center field, Bumgarner in right field. Then you have Van Meter at third base, Noble at short, Gibbs at second, Miller at first, Living on the mound, and Wolf behind the dish. That pitch fouled off back into the screen by Jeffrey, 1-2. And Ritchie County has won 10 of their last 11 coming into this game tonight. They are 6-0 in postseason play. They defeated Wirt Madonna in the regional 7-2 and 4-1 to sweep their way to the state tournament. Wahama defeated a tough man ball club 2-0 and 11-4 in 10 innings at Man, as they exploded for 7 runs in that 10th inning to preserve that win and stay undefeated, as Wahama's had several scares this year, including a very huge scare this morning. They trailed 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs and nobody on, and rallied to tie the game at 2, trailed 3-2 going in to to the top of the 7th inning. And now Pittman got off too far. Now she's going to run down, throw over to second. Not going to have a chance as Miller couldn't get it out of her glove. And Pittman able to get in safely. So now Ritchie County trying to do what they were unable to do throughout the regular season against Wahama, and that's put a run on the board. And a base hit here would likely do the trick with the speed that Pittman has. Jeffrey has battled back in this count. They've drawn it to full count, and she'll draw a walk. And Living struggled with her control earlier this morning and was able to dig herself out of 5 jams out of the 7 innings she pitched. 5 of those innings, there were runners in scoring position or at second and third base, and she was able to keep the damage limited. But going to be a tough task to ask again here tonight against this Ritchie County club. Again, Living has thrown 155 innings coming into this state tournament, has 218 strikeouts as Elliott fouls one off the left, 0-1. But Living 25-0, has an 0.77 ERA on the season. She was able to throw 14 shutouts throughout the 25 games she's pitched. There were only several occasions where teams were able to score more than a run against her. But one of those came early today against the sophomores. Now they count 1-1 to Chloe Elliott. She was 0 for 3 this morning, reached on an error, flew out, and popped out. Now she has a chance to help her own cause as she had a dominant performance against Midland Trail, which we'll talk about in the next half inning. As this one fisted into the air on the infield, Noble will range over and she'll make the grab for out number 1. Again, Lauren Noble, only 2 errors for her on the entire season out at shortstop. She had only 1 coming into the state tournament, but made one of those errors in the 2nd inning earlier today, but backed that up with several great defensive plays later on in the contest. So now Olivia Dodd will climb in, the cleanup hitter. She was 2 for 3 this morning against Midland Trail, struck out, singled, and had a 2 RBI double. There's a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Pitch misses, 1-1. This has been a superb defensive club in Wahama, along with pitching as well. They've allowed just 31 runs in 25 games this season. As we said, only 26 coming into the state tournament, but 5 of those given up this morning. The 1-1, swung on a missed 1 and 2. And in this contest, I don't think we're going to see the type of explosion in runs that we saw in the last game between Midland Trail and Petersburg. This is going to be a game where every run is going to be accounted for and every run's going to be huge. Can Ritchie strike first? Pitch misses outside, 2-2. This one hit out towards short. Noble has to wait. Pittman got in front of her on the run by, caused the bobble, and everyone is safe. And now that will be an error on Noble, and that'll be her 2nd of the state tournament after only 1 throughout the entire season. But that was difficult play considering that Pittman, her feet crossed right in front of her as she was looking to make that play, and I think that's what Coach Noble is trying to talk about right now, maybe trying to get runner interference on the play. But it doesn't appear he's going to get the call that he wants. So now Living, who has lived in this situation today with runners in scoring position, she's been able to dig out of it Can she find a way out of it here against this Ritchie County club that can put up a lot of runs in a hurry? And J.C. Gray was a big part of that this morning. She had a 2-run home run against Midland Trail, was 1 for 3 in the game. She lined out and hit into a fielder's choice after that. Now the middle of the infield playing back in double play depth. So a ground ball would very easily score Pittman at the moment as long as it's not to the corners. This one laced right to third base, caught and stepping on the bag. Double play for Van Meter. And Wahama gets out of a huge jam here in the top of the first inning. So despite a hit, a walk, an error, no runs score for Ritchie County as we move to the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 your score as you are watching the Class A state tournament with us right here on Video Productions.
Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Boy, getting older is pretty stressful. Am I right, girls?
No kidding, Sandy. It seems like every morning I see a new driveway crack.
My deck sure isn't as level as it used to be.
You've got to keep up appearances, though, right?
Mm-hmm. You got that right.
It's time to stop worrying about your concrete problems. Give us a call today and rest easy tonight.
Bottom of the first inning we move. 0-0 your score here from Kraft Field in South Charleston, West Virginia. Chris Kidd with you, with Joe Mounts, our engineer, Garrett Lester, our camera operator. And just a reminder that whether you need help with landscaping or the perfect manicured lawn, call All Seasons Lawn and Landscaping. Again, that's All Seasons Lawn and Landscape, proud supporters of girls softball and the Ritchie County Lady Rebels. So now it'll be Wahama's first attempt at the dish, as it'll be Mikey Living to lead things off. She'll be followed by Emma Gibbs. Amber Wolf in the 3 spot. Batting cleanup is Lauren Noble. Batting 5th is the third baseman Victoria Van Meter. Batting 6th is Morgan Christian, who is the hero of the first game today. Then you have Emma Knapp, the designated player, batting 7th. Deborah Miller batting 8th. And then rounding out the lineup will be the right fielder Bailey Bumgarner. We'll run through the Ritchie County defense in a moment as Living once again able to dig out of trouble. Bases loaded and 1 out, and gets a double play ball on the line drive to Van Meter and stepping on the bag for the 3rd out. As Elliott's first pitch fouled off to the left, 0-1. Living was 2 for 4 in the win over Petersburg as she struck out, lined out, and then had 2 singles, but she absolutely rocketed every ball that she hit. She is batting .608 on the season with 4 home runs. Nice change up there for Elliott. Gets ahead 0-2. Elliott looking for the first retiree of the game, but Living spoils the 0-2 pitch, foul down the third base side. And you can see the sun beginning to set here over the mountains, here at the Rock in South Charleston, West Virginia. Elliott ready to go with another 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and a big start for Chloe Elliott. We talked about the dominance Living's had on the mound. Elliott has been right there with her this season. 21-3 for Elliott. 14 walks given up, 70 hits given up in 144 innings, along with 234 strikeouts. Comes into the state tournament with a 1.12 ERA as there's a changeup hit into left field as it gets through third and short, as Emma Gibbs gets her second hit of this state tournament with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Elliott had 11 strikeouts in the sectional final, had 9 strikeouts earlier this morning against Midland Trail, gave up 6 hits and 1 run. She signed with Seton Hall to play college softball as well. But now 1 out and 1 on. As Amber Wolf, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, takes a ball 1-0. It's a snap throw down to first, but Gibbs able to get back safely. Wolf was 1 for 4 against Petersburg. Had 2 flyouts, a line out, and an RBI single as she hit the ball hard all 4 times she was up. Just 3 of the 4 were right at defenders, but then got the big one in the 6th inning that helped give Wahama the lead. Now she's at 2-0. Wolf batting .481 on the season with 3 home runs to her credit. She checks her swing. Elliott either wanting to try and have Gray set up a little bit lower or wanted to see if Wolf had gone around on that pitch, but did not. Now we'll see if they turn Wolf loose on 3-0. She'll take a strike right down the pipe. And Elliott doesn't walk very many batters, we just mentioned. We'll see if she gives in or comes right after Wolf again on 3-1. This one hit back up the middle, and that's a single. Taking the turn is Gibbs. Throw comes into third, and tag was wide of the mark as Jones came up to make the catch and had a tough angle after that, and Gibbs was able to maneuver around it. And now runners at second and third with 1 out, and Lauren Noble coming to the plate. Noble was 0 for 4 against Petersburg, struck out, had a pair of flyouts and a ground out as she takes a big rip and fouls it into the screen. Defense for Ritchie County. You have Weekly in left field, Sanju in center field, Law in right field, Jones at third, Pittman at short, Jeffrey at second, Dodd at first, with Gray behind the dish. Elliott looking to deal at 0-1. Noble squared to bunt and pulled back. They get it for a strike, or actually, no, excuse me, foul tip on the play as Noble looked like she was trying to get it back, but had it go off the end of her bat. So now quickly Elliott ahead 0-2, and this would be a big out if she's able to record this with only 1 away. Noble spoils it as she rips it foul down the first base side. We talked about the potency of this Wahama offense. They've averaged 8.6 runs per game on the season. Were held scoreless for 4 2/3 innings earlier today. Can they strike early here in game number 2? This one ripped fair down the left field line. That'll plate 2. As Living comes in, sliding in is Gibbs, and getting into second base, standing up is Lauren Noble. And I should say she scored Gibbs and Wolf on that play, and Noble gets her first hit of the state tournament, and it's a huge one, a 2 RBI double right down the left field line. As that ball was absolutely smoked right by Jones. And now Victoria Van Meter stands in. That pitch misses low, 1-0. Van Meter was 2 for 4 against Petersburg, struck out twice and had 2 singles. She had strikeouts in her first 2 at-bats, and then the singles came in her final 2 at-bats during that rally for Wahama. She got the first hit of that rally in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs that sparked Wahama in that comeback bid. Elliott deals this one, fastball fouled straight back, 1-2. Talked about how important these runs will be against both of these pitchers, but these 2 teams very familiar with each other. This being their 4th meeting of the year. That one comes inside on Van Meter and misses 2-2. And we know that Living was definitely the pitcher in those 3 occasions, considering she's pitched every pitch this year. I would have to imagine that Elliott was the opposing pitcher in those contests as well. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as she gets Van Meter for the second out of the inning and her second strikeout of the inning. Now that'll bring up Morgan Christian, who has been the hardest out in South Charleston thus far today. She was 3 for 3 with 2 singles, a walk, and what turned out to be the game-winning 3-run home run in the top of the 7th inning, as Petersburg came back and scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. But with the score tied 3-3, Christian crushed a ball to center field and gave Wahama a 6-3 lead that was able to hold up in the bottom half of the inning. The 1-0 swung on a missed 1-1. But every time today, her and Kimberly Minich had a tough battle. And all 4 occasions, the count would run deep, 3-2 on several occasions, but Christian was able to get the better of her on each time. This one nubbed out toward short. Pittman races in on it, throws over to first, in time to Dodd for out number 3. But 3 hits and a 2-run RBI double by Lauren Noble have given Wahama an early 2-0 lead as we head to the top of the second. You're watching the Class A State Softball Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions.
First set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Top of the second inning we head, and Wahama, undefeated on the season, has jumped out early 2-0 on Ritchie County. Chris Kidd with you with Joe Mounts, our engineer, Garrett Lester, our camera operator. And just a reminder that West Virginia teens are changing the game. West Virginia Game Changers is an initiative designed to educate, support, and empower our youth to make healthy choices as they prepare to be our leaders of tomorrow. Now it'll be Lily Law to lead things off for the Lady Rebels. So it'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters this inning. Law was 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a single, and a 2 RBI double in the game against Midland Trail. His first pitch in for a strike from Living, 0-1. As we mentioned that first game, she has a pitch sheet, looks like, on her arm that she checks, much like a quarterback would in football. As if it's a playlist, and she goes to it, and again, just amazing. She's a sophomore and has the composure that she has on the mound, especially in these difficult situations she's found herself in. Even most experienced players would have crumbled and had some meltdowns with a lot of the situations she's faced thus far today, but she's been able to hold it together, and even whenever runs have crossed, she's been able to limit the damage. It's count 2-1 now. This time comes right in on Law, who chops it off a home plate foul, 2-2. Living trying to get the leadoff person for the second straight time. Hard hit ball towards third, but there's Van Meter there to swallow it up, and she throws over to Miller in time for out number 1. Van Meter has been a Hoover vacuum over at third base today as she's just eaten everything up that's come her way. As you see it here on our instant replay, again, sharp hit ball on one hop, able to take it and a perfect throw over to Miller. Now you get Macy Ireland standing in. Ireland was 2 for 3. 1 for 3, had 2 strikeouts and an RBI single in the win over the Lady Patriots this morning. And it looks like they're going to give first base to Ireland here. It looks like she offered at that pitch and swung at it. But may have also caught her. Now the umpires will get together and confer. And they'll bring Ireland back. As Coach Moser wanting to have a deeper discussion about this. Or excuse me, Coach Mosser. And now Coach Mosser apparently appeased by what he heard, and he'll go back over to third base. Now Living, 0-1 the count. This one hit towards third base side and just foul. That'll run the count now to 0-2. And Ireland really came on in the second half of the season for Ritchie County. Batted .500, had 7 RBIs. To close out the latter half of the season, really worked her way into this lineup. Living misses high. Tried to get her with a rise ball, 1-2. Ireland batting in the designated player spot in place of Carissa Weekly, who is the flex player in left field. Comes back with another rise ball and misses way high, 2-2. Living would love nothing more than a quick inning. He said she's not had very many of those today. And that one foul tip by Ireland, stay alive. We mentioned in the first game, 5 of the 7 innings were runners in scoring position. And already she got out of a bases loaded jam in the first inning. So 6 of her 8 innings have been a labor of love for Living. Here comes the 2-2 again. Swung on a miss, strike 3. That'll be the first punch out of the game for Living, second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Carly Sanju. Sanju 0 for 2 against Midland Trail this morning. Had 2 strikeouts in that game. Trying to find her first hit of the state tournament. She's batting in the number 8 spot. It's Living set to go to work. Squaring the bunt and gets it down, but there's Van Meter again. Throw over to first in time. And Victoria Van Meter continues her dominance in the field in a 1-2-3 inning for Wahama as we go to the bottom of the second inning. 2-0 your score here from Kraft Field. As we go to break, you see again the great play by Van Meter and the great anticipation in order to retire Ritchie County in order, as you are watching the Class A state tournament with us right here live on Video Productions.
Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
At Tudor's Biscuit World, we use the freshest ingredients in our made-from-scratch biscuits. The Biscuit and Gravy Platter. Hot and fresh biscuits, made from scratch gravy. Now that's a meal. Served all day long and only available at Tudor's Biscuit World.
Geno's introduces the Big Cheese, our supersized pizza piled high with extra cheese for only $9.99. A blend of 3 different cheeses, mozzarella, parmesan, and provolone. Try Geno's Big Cheese Pizza for only $9.99.
2-0 your score as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Chris Kidd here with you. Joe Mounts, our engineer. Garrett Lester, our camera operator, as Wahama leads it 2-0 in this winner's bracket final to see who moves in to the state championship game tomorrow at 2. His first pitch fouled off by Emma Knapp, 0-1. Again, the loser of this game is not out of it. They will move into the loser's bracket to face off against Petersburg tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. And again, we'll have that game with you on video productions, as well as the championship game as Knapp fouls that out of play, 0-2. As we said, Petersburg getting a chance to get back to their hotels and get some rest tonight. The loser of this game likely looking at not getting back to their hotel or their place of staying until after 10 o'clock or later, as 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and 1 out for Chloe Elliott. It's a big start there to the bottom of the second inning for her. That'll bring up Deborah Miller now, the number 8 hitter. Just a reminder that CBS Equipment has over 30 years experience in the mining industry and is committed to supply mining companies with reliable, inventive, quality equipment as well as top-notch customer service. CBS Equipment is proud to support the Independence Lady Patriots as well as the 2021 softball state tournament participants. So Miller fouls the first pitch out of play, 0-1. Miller chops one towards short. Nice stop by Pittman, high throw, but a nice snag by Dodd. That'll be out number 2. So we talked about Lithing needing a quick inning, and now Chloe Elliott needing one as well after she labored back in the first inning but was able to keep the damage at just 2 runs. That'll bring up Bailey Bumgarner. She was 0 for 2 against Petersburg, 2 ground outs, and was hit by a pitch. She squared the bunt, pulled back, but in for a strike anyway. Now bunt laid down by Bumgarner. Nice anticipation by Jones. Throw to first in time as Law able to come over and cover the bag to record a 1-2-3 inning for Ritchie County. So now both these pitchers perhaps getting into a groove here as both go 1-2-3 quickly through the second inning. We head to the top of the third. 2-0 your score in favor of Wahama as you are watching the Class A state tournament with us right here on Video Productions.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today.
Top of the third inning we move as Wahama leads it 2-0 over Ritchie County. Chris Kidd with you, Joe Mounts, our engineer, Garrett Lester, our camera operator for this winner's bracket final. Between these two ball clubs, again, whoever wins this will have to be defeated twice in the state championship round tomorrow, so a lot at stake for these two ball clubs As we mentioned, 5 losses for Ritchie County this year, 3 of them coming at the hands of the Wahama White Falcons. So Living will go back to work. And she'll go up against the top of the order. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. So Alyssa Pittman will be up next, as it'll actually be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters this inning as Chaselyn Jones stands in. She was 0 for 2 this morning with 2 strikeouts. And she squares the bunt and pulls back, 1-1 the count. Again, Van Meter coming in on that third base side. So imposing, especially with the way that she's able to field the ball. Swing and a miss as Jones tardy on that fastball. The count now 1-2. Living trying to get a quick first out here. Start the top of the third, misses with a rise ball, 2-2. Living has retired the last 4 batters she's faced and 5 of the last 6. The one being in there was an error that was committed. Swing and a miss, strike 3 is the second punch out now of the game for Mikey Living, and that'll bring things back to the top of the order with Olivia Pittman. Mentioned Pittman batting .464 on the season, 7 doubles, 4 triples, and 15 RBIs. She had a double off the fence in the bottom of the 7th inning in the sectional championship game that scored Chaselyn Jones to help them defeat St. Mary's 5-4 in order to move into the regional round. Pittman yet to be retired in this tournament. Another hard shot ball towards Noble. Tough throw from the hole. Was Miller able to hang on? Yes, she was. And that ends Pittman's streak of 4 consecutive times reaching base and just by a hair. And that just goes to show how quick she is on the base path. That was a sharp hit ball. Noble fielded it cleanly, and she still was almost able to beat that out. Now back to Marissa Jeffrey. She walked back in the first inning. That pitch comes too far inside, and that'll hit Jeffrey and put her on base. So now base runner on with 2 outs, and that'll bring Chloe Elliott to the plate. And Elliott still looking for her first hit of this state tournament. A blast right here could even this thing up in a hurry, and Elliott's got the power to do so. That might have hit Elliott as well, but she went around on the pitch. And that'll be a strike against Elliott. And Living trying to get on the inside here, and now Coach Mosser wanting an explanation. He claiming that hit Elliott. It appeared that it did, but again, she went around on the swing. Now they're going to take a look at her forearm here, and that would be her pitching arm. This is the last thing that Ritchie County needs right now, is to have Chloe Elliott injured. You can't see her face, so I'm uncertain of how much pain she may be in. It looks like they were just rubbing it out just to make sure that there wasn't anything damaged or anything hurt. Elliott, a tough competitor. She'll climb back in here with the count 0-1, 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. Living winds and deals. This one hit high in the air towards center field, back towards the fence, looking up. We're all tied. A 2-run blast for Chloe Elliott. And Ritchie County has brought us back to all square here in the top of the third inning. So I'm going to guess now they didn't want her to take her base after that, as that one was a towering shot into right center field. And Christian and Bumgarner both knew they had no chance as they tried to give chase. And Ritchie County has scored their first runs of the season off of Living and off of this Wahama defense. Again, they were shut out in all three contests this season, 5-0, 5-0, and 6-0. And now after squandering a bases loaded, one out possibility to begin the game, Chloe Elliott decides to help herself. And it's tied up this ball game. And an 0-1 count to Olivia Dodd, who reached on an error back in the first inning. Pitch misses low and inside, 1-1. Swing and a miss as she took a big rip at that fastball, but came up empty, 1-2. Living trying to keep this a 2-all game. Nobody on now. And after she had been on cruise control for about the last 20 minutes, the hit batter and then the 2-run blast have us back to where we started. It looks like the umpire's going to have to go get some more balls, as we've had quite a few fouled out of play here as they get a few back now. Dodd takes a look down at third base, getting instruction as she climbs back in. Trailing 1-2 in the count. Living has 2 punch outs, 1 this inning. Trying to get a second here to put an end to this third inning. That one spoiled by Dodd as she went down and dug it out. Living checks her play sheet again on her wrist. Here comes another 1-2. Misses high and outside, 2-2. Swung on a miss, strike 3, as she was able to get Dodd with a rise ball in order to retire the side here in the third, but not before Chloe Elliott plays long ball and ties the score at 2 apiece as we head to the bottom of the third inning, as you are watching the Class A state tournament with us right here live on Video Productions.
Let's go Falcons! Let's go Falcons!
Now by Elliott in this contest, as that'll bring up Amber Wolf. Wolf singled into center field and then later scored on Noble's hit. She goes behind quickly 0-1. There's a big wind up by Elliott, able to get a foul ball out of Wolf to the right, 0-2. We can hear the encouragement coming out of that Ritchie County dugout right now. Just telling Elliott to breathe, telling her she's got this. As you can tell, that they really feel like they've got an excellent opportunity in this ball game here tonight, as that one fouled off back to the screen by Wolf, 0-2. And takes a strong will as well as a ball club after experiencing 3 losses that were handily won by Wahama, the way that Ritchie County did this season. Now coming in here as we are all even at 2 apiece, trying to see if they can hand Wahama their first loss of the season and create an opportunity where Wahama would have to beat them twice if they were to get there in the state championship round tomorrow. Elliott looking for another 1-2-3 innings. She has 7 straight putouts. This is outside 2-2. Elliott back on the rubber. Wolf stares out. Here's the 2-2. Fastball misses, 3-2. Wolf has battled back from 0-2 to run this to a full count, trying to give Noble an opportunity, who stands on deck. And right now for Wahama, just trying to create a base runner after they haven't had one on in the last 7 at-bats. This one hammered into center field, back towards the wall and over the head of Sanju, and that'll get up against the fence. Throw into second base, not going to be in time, as Wolf able to reach with a 2-out double. And again, Amber Wolf just continues to tattoo the ball in this tournament. That's her 2nd hit tonight. And as we said, the 3 balls that she hit in that first game against Petersburg were all hit hard, but just right at somebody. That one was hit at Sanju, but over her head. And now she is 3 for 3 after starting out 0 for 3 in this tournament. And now Noble with an opportunity to give Wahama the lead back with a hit here as she fouls it back into the screen, 0-1. And Noble was able to break out of her hitless funk after going 0 for 4 in the first game by picking up that RBI double. And she's batting .475 on the season for Wahama. So we'll take a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. And Elliott just doing such a good job of getting ahead of batters right now and forcing the issue. How can she end this threat in the bottom of the 3rd inning? Swung on, hit between first and second. Going to be a tough play, fielded by Jeffrey. She races to the bag, and she'll beat Noble to it for out number 3. Again, it just creeped by Dodd, but a great job by Jeffrey backing her up and winning the race to first base. And that'll end the bottom of the 3rd inning. We head to the 4th with a score all even at 2 apiece as you're watching the Class A state tournament with us right here on Video Productions. got the important stuff. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd here with you with Joe Mounts, our engineer, Garrett Lester, our camera operator, as we are 2-2 heading to the top of the fourth inning. Just a reminder that West Virginia teens are changing the game. West Virginia Game Changers is an initiative designed to educate, support, and empower our youth to make healthy choices as they prepare to be our leaders of tomorrow. Right now, it's Living and Elliott leading the way for Wahama and Ritchie County as we are in the middle innings, all square at 2 apiece. A 2 RBI double by Lauren Noble gave Wahama a 2-0 lead, and then Chloe Elliott tied the game in the top of the third with a 2-run home run. His first pitch swinging, fouled into foul territory, but there's Miller able to range over and make the grab in order to retire J.C. Gray. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the fourth inning. And that'll bring up Lily Law. Law grounded out to third base to start off the second inning. I mentioned had a pair of hits in the first game today, a single and a 2 RBI double against Midland Trail. First pitch from Living. Tried to get a running head start down that first baseline, did Law with that speed, but fouled it off 0-1. Again, just trying to get one of those slap hits. Which you see a lot of lefties try and do in softball at almost every level. This one going to be put over the head of Van Meter as she had to play in, anticipating maybe that slap hit as she takes a big turn towards second base. Throw comes back over to first, but Law able to get back in time. She got nearly halfway to second base before she retreated, as Barnett did a great job of coming in from left field and playing that ball on a couple of hops in order to prevent Law from digging into second base. Now it'll bring up Macy Ireland. But again, that last hit was pretty much set up by the slap hit attempt on the first one because Van Meter moved in, and then Law was just able to pop that over her head. This one ripped up the middle into center field, and that'll be a base hit as Ireland, after striking out the first time against Living, able to pick up her second hit of this state tournament. And now Ritchie County, with the bottom of their order, trying to put together a rally and take the lead for the first time this season against Wahama. And they never held a lead in any of the other 3 contests, haven't led thus far tonight. It's been 25 innings nearly played between these two without a lead, and that one fouled off by Sanju, 0-1. Sanju popped out, grounded out. Back to Living, back in the second inning, in that 1-2-3 inning for her. Away with first and second. Here's the pitch. Sanju late on that fastball, fouls it off to the right, and Living quickly gets ahead 0-2. We've seen in a couple of these games today where the bottom of the order has been able to do the job Wahama had it happen for them. And the late innings against Petersburg earlier today is that 1-0-2 misses outside to make it 1-2. Now it's Ritchie County trying to do the same thing here in the top of the fourth inning. And after the pop out by Gray, back-to-back singles by Law and Ireland, they've set up an opportunity here for Sanju. Swung on and tapped back up the middle. Fielded by Noble. Her plays at first. She goes there and is able to get the out. Law took a turn at third base but will hold still. Sanju moves up the runners to second and third now with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Chaselyn Jones. Jones 0 for 1 tonight, struck out to start off the third inning She's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in this tournament. Can this be the time where she breaks through? We've seen so many of these girls, after a tough start to the tournament, at the plate, be able to come up with a big hit in different places. Now the number 9 hitter takes a ball inside, 1-0. Now can Living work her way out of trouble again? This is her 11th inning of work in this state tournament. And 8 of those 11, she has had to deal with runners in scoring position, as that one fouled back into the screen by Jones. Living sets and deals the 1-1. This one lifted out of play straight back over top of us. And now the count to 1-2. Living 1 strike away from working her way out of trouble again. Again, was able to get out of bases loaded and 1 out in the first inning. Now has 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs here in the 4th. And it's strike 3 on the outside corner. Once again, Mikey Living able to pull a Houdini act and get herself out of trouble yet one more time, as you see it here on our instant replay. Great location on the outside corner for strike 3 and out number 3 as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still all square at 2 apiece as you're watching the Single A State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions. Bottom of the 4th inning, it is all even at 2 apiece. Chris Kidd with you, Joe Mounts, our engineer, and Garrett Lester, our camera operator, here tonight for our final game of this Tuesday night. And what a day it's been. Again, a 9-1 win for Ritchie County this morning. Perhaps the game of the entire tournament, single A, double A, or triple A, with Wahama and Petersburg, with Wahama coming from behind to win 6-5. In a classic ball game that you'll have to go back and check out here on Video Productions when you get the opportunity. And then Petersburg eliminating Midland Trail 11-5 in the first elimination game earlier tonight. This not an elimination game, but this will put one of these two in the state championship tomorrow at 2 o'clock and force whoever gets in with them to beat them twice. So a lot at stake here this evening from Kraft Field. Elliott has gotten ahead 0-2 on Van Meter. Now Van Meter lifts it into right field, starting in, now moving back. It'll go off the wall. Van Meter around first, digging for 2, and she'll be in standing up with a leadoff double. Law started in on the crack of the bat, but noticed quickly that that ball was drifting and drifting, and I don't even think if she would have started back on it initially, she would have had a play on that ball, as Van Meter has been so huge in this tournament thus far, not just with her glove, but at the plate, as that's her 3rd hit now. And that'll bring up Morgan Christian. Christian swings and misses 0-1. And Christian grounded out to shortstop to end the first inning. As we said, was 3 for 3 against Petersburg with 2 singles, a walk, and that game-winning 3-run home run in the top of the 7th inning that was able to hold up in the bottom of the 7th against Petersburg. This one fouled into the screen as Elliott again works her way ahead 0-2. And Elliott just continues to pound the strike zone and come after these Wahama hitters. We saw Van Meter was able to still get that big double with 2 strikes on her a moment ago. Christian lifts it straight back and out of play. Count will remain at 0-2. Ball 1 missing high. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Things starting to get semi-late here, so who can pull ahead at this juncture? And Ritchie County threatened last inning with 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. And now this could give Wahama the lead as it sinks fast into right, and it'll fall. Christian comes through again as Van Meter comes to the plate. It's a 3-2 lead for Wahama, and Christian will be into 3rd with an RBI triple. Morgan Christian has been absolutely clutch today at the plate. As she starts the lawnmower at 3rd, and right now she's absolutely mowed over top of every pitcher she's found today. And that, as big of a hit as she's had throughout the season, as it has just been clutch hit after clutch hit for her here today. As a double and a triple to start off this inning has given Wahama the lead back, and now chopper towards first. Dodd able to apply the tag. Racing back to 3rd is Christian. And a great play by Dodd that time. Again, kept that ball in front of her off of Knapp's chopper. And instead of having to run back to the bag, wisely applied the tag and was able to keep Christian at bay. So a huge out there for Ritchie County, and now you get Deborah Miller standing in. Miller grounded out to shortstop her first time up. She was 1 for 3 against Petersburg, had 2 pop-outs, but then had the huge hit with an 2 RBI single that tied the game in the bottom of the 6th inning against Petersburg. Now has an opportunity to give Wahama their 2-run lead back with a hit or a well-placed ball right now with Christian at 3rd. While we have a moment, just a reminder that CBS Equipment has over 30 years of experience in the mining industry and is committed to supply mining companies with reliable, inventive, quality equipment as well as top-notch customer service. Easy for me to say. CBS Equipment is proud to support the Independence Lady Patriots as well as all the 2021 softball state tournament participants. His first pitch from Elliott to Miller misses 1-0. Swing and a miss by Miller as they snap throw down to 3rd. And a nice little sneak play there by Ritchie County as they had Jones playing further up for the bunt, and they had Pittman sneak in from behind from the shortstop position to see if they could catch Christian napping and leading off too far down the 3rd base line. So Miller gets a piece of this but fouls it out of play, 1-2. And actually, it is a courtesy runner that is out there right now for Christian. It's Alyssa Van Meter standing over at 3rd base. She courtesy ran a couple of times against Petersburg. They want more of that speed on the base path here in case Miller puts one on the ground on the infield, as once again she fouls it out of play. And every pitch so crucial right now, as we talked about how good both these pitchers are. Elliott knows she needs this strikeout, and she gets it. Huge punch out there for Chloe Elliott to bring us to 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Bailey Bumgarner will stand in as she grounded out on the infield back in the 2nd inning. This would be huge for Elliott and Ritchie County if they keep this at just a 1-run deficit. That pitch catches the outside corner, 0-1. Because Ritchie County is threatened on several occasions here tonight. Left the bases loaded in the 1st inning, left 2nd and 3rd. In the top half of this inning, that pitch misses and gets away, but again, short backstop here at Kraft Field, so very difficult for anyone to take home unless the ball just squirts away up the 1st or 3rd base side. Van Meter wisely elects to hold still. Now it's the Wahama dugout trying to get behind Bumgarner here, see if she can deliver a clutch hit with 2 outs as she fouls it off over towards the dugout, 1-2. Bumgarner is grounded out in 3 over 4 plate appearances. The other, she was hit by a pitch. The infield playing in knows she's more of a slap ground ball hitter. Here comes the 1-2. This is outside. Once again squirted away from Gray, but able to get back to it in time as the count moves to 2-2. This is the batter that Elliott wants to come after, with Living standing on deck and how dangerous she is at the plate. Strike 3 called as she came right down the pipe with it and was able to freeze Bumgarner for out number 3. But a double by Van Meter and a triple by Morgan Christian have given Wahama the lead back at 3-2 as we move to the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back after this break as you are watching the Class A State Softball Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions.
Stores knows West Virginia. But what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Boy, getting older is pretty stressful. Am I right, girls?
No kidding, Sandy. It seems like every morning I see a new driveway crack.
My deck sure isn't as level as it used to be.
You've got to keep up appearances, though, right?
Mm-hmm. You got that right.
It's time to stop worrying about your concrete problems. Give us a call today and rest easy tonight.
Top of the 5th inning now with Wahama back in the lead at 3-2 over Ritchie County. Chris Kidd here with you from Kraft Field in South Charleston, West Virginia, with Joe Mounts, our engineer, and Garrett Lester, our camera operator, as the winner moves into the championship round tomorrow at 2 o'clock. The loser of this game will take on Petersburg in the finals of the losers bracket tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. to see who qualifies for the state championship. So a decided advantage for whoever can come out of this game alive, as whoever gets in the finals would have to beat them twice. This is the top of the order now for Ritchie County, and it starts off with Pittman hitting one down the right field line for a leadoff single. Great job by Bumgarner cutting that ball off with Pittman's speed. If that would have got by her, Pittman would have been off to the races and easily into 3rd with a triple. So a great defensive play by Bumgarner to cut that off, but Olivia Pittman just continues her dominance at the plate in this tournament as well. As she has reached on 5 of her 6 attempts. Only grounded out in her last plate appearance that kept her from being perfect. That's 4 hits for her now in this tournament to go along with a walk. As Marissa Jeffrey takes a strike, 0-1. Jeffrey has walked and was hit by a pitch in her 2 plate appearances today. Now taking off is Pittman. Throw down to second. It is not in time. A delayed call. But it appeared to be the right call as Pittman got a nice jump and extends her stolen base lead on the team now as she is up to 17 on the season. As we take a look at it here in our instant replay, a great throw down by Wolf. Had to be low and had to be right about where Pittman was sliding if she was going to have a chance to get her. But Pittman still able to outrace the throw by a hair. And now runner at second with nobody out. And we're back in familiar territory now for Mikey Living. Runners in scoring position. And nobody or one out. This is where she's been able to shine thus far today. This is now going to be 9 innings out of 12 where she has faced a runner in scoring position against her. She has magically been able to dig herself out of so many jams. Again, leaving bases loaded in the first inning with 1 out on a double play. Second and third in the 3rd inning. Able to get out of that jam as well. Or excuse me, that in the 4th inning. He's only had 2 1-2-3 innings today. 1 in the first game, 1 in this game. Now have to sweat it out once again as Jeffrey climbs in behind 0-2 in this count. Ball 1 outside. Again, a base hit would easily score Pittman unless it was just absolutely roped. But with her speed on the base path, anything that gets into the outfield will likely equal a run. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout for Living. Talked about it last inning with Elliott, how she needed one badly with 1 out. Well, right there, Living needed it, and she gets it. She take a look at it here on our Video Productions instant replay. Again, coming right after Jeffrey and gets her to wave through it. Now you have Chloe Elliott standing in. Responsible for the 2 runs Ritchie County has as she hammered a 2-run home run over the right center field wall her last time up. Popped out the shortstop her first time up. Elliott calls for time and steps out. She was hit on the forearm on the pitch before the home run, but had swung through on it. So it was one of those at the moment. If you're a Ritchie County fan, you were wanting her to be able to take first base, but then after the home run, it's like, you know what, they made the right call. So let's see what unfolds in this crucial at bat here with 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. Strike on the outside corner freezes Elliott, 1-1. Tying run standing out at second base is Pittman after the leadoff single to right field. Elliott batting .493 on the season, has 3 home runs now, and picked up her 26th and 27th RBI. But now takes strike 2 on the outside corner as Living peppers that outside corner twice. We'll see if she goes back to that same spot again. If she tries to jam Elliott on the inner half, as we've seen her try and do on several occasions with other batters. Comes inside, tried to jam her, but able to fight it off was Elliott. Again, that outside pitch that Living's hitting now, that's where she's been struggling throughout the first 2 games, but it seems like she's started to settle into that spot after missing wide and high most of the day. Now she's starting to find her location. Could it be at the exact right time for Wahama? The 1-2 again. Comes inside and she hits Elliott. So she tried to come back inside a second time, but this time it got away from her, and that's the second hit batter of the evening from Living, and that'll put runners at first and second with one out. Just a reminder that whether you need help with landscaping or the perfect manicured lawn, call All Seasons Lawn and Landscaping. Again, that's All Seasons Lawn and Landscaping, proud supporters of girls softball and the Ritchie County Lady Rebels. Now you get a courtesy runner coming in for Elliott. That'll be Kiara Weekly. Now a huge at bat here for the cleanup batter, Olivia Dodd. She is 0 for 2 today. Hits one towards short. Noble able to scoop it up. Throws to first in time for out number 2. Throw to third, dangerous, but Van Meter able to get over and get it. In time as Miller tried to see if Pittman took a wide turn or not. The throw was wide of the mark, but Van Meter able to range over and grab it, or else we have a tie game, or perhaps Ritchie County taking the lead if that ball got away. That was a tough play for Noble right there, as that ball was moving around and she was able to control it in her glove. Just enough to be able to get the second out of the inning. And right there, that's a similar play that we saw earlier where the runner was right in front of her and she had that bobble. But now it's J.C. Gray. A base hit could give Ritchie County the lead for the first time all season against Wahama, and that's in for a strike 0-1. Gray lined out into a double play with the bases loaded and one out in the first inning, and then popped out to start the fourth inning. She had a 2-run home run in the first game against Midland Trail. This one hard hit but foul back into the screen. Living ahead now 0-2. A leadoff single by Pittman, a strikeout of Jeffrey, a hit batter is Elliott. And then the ground out to Dodd have brought us to this. An 0-2 pitch from Living to try and keep the lead going to the bottom of the fifth inning. Misses high and outside, 1-2. Gray climbs back in, inches in a little closer. Here's the 1-2. Misses high, and a great snag that time by Wolf. Keep that in front of her. Count moves to 2-2. And Living trying to dig out of trouble yet again. She left second and third open last inning with no runs across. Can she do it again? Yes, she can. Strike 3 swinging on Gray. And once again, Mikey Living escapes trouble and moves us to the bottom of the fifth inning with Wahama still in the lead at 3-2. As we go to break, you see the movement on that pitch that was able to get it by Gray for the third out, and Wahama will look to extend their lead as we come back in 60 seconds. You're watching the Class A state tournament with us right here on Video Productions.
Boy, getting older is pretty stressful. Am I right, girls?
No kidding, Sandy. It seems like every morning I see a new driveway crack.
My deck sure isn't as level as it used to be.
You've got to keep up appearances, though, right?
You got that right.
It's time to stop worrying about your concrete problems. Give us a call today and rest easy tonight.
The tension continues to mount here at Kraft Field. It's Wahama leading Ritchie County 3-2, with the winner going to the state championship game tomorrow afternoon. Chris Kidd here with you. Joe Mounts, our engineer. Garrett Lester, our camera operator. for our final game, our fourth game of the day here from Kraft Field. And again, we'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. for the finals of the losers bracket, as Petersburg is already there after eliminating Midland Trail a couple of hours ago, 11-5. They lost a tight game earlier today to Wahama, 6-5. And now they wait to see if it'll be Ritchie County or Wahama that they face off to go to the state finals tomorrow at 2. Count 1-1 to Living. Living 0 for 2 today, struck out in the first inning and grounded out to second base her last time up. That one in for a strike, 1-2. Living had 2 hits in the first game. As we said, hit the ball hard all 4 times against Petersburg. This one hit hard down the left field line, but that's going to hook and get out of play. And Elliott, difficult inning facing her right now with the top of this order, but if she can work through it, that could give Ritchie County a big boost going into the top of the 6th. That one's going to hit Living as they exchange hit batters. As Living hit Elliott last inning, now Elliott hits her, but both incidental. That was just a change-up that really got away from Elliott that time. And puts the leadoff person on for Wahama. That'll bring up Emma Gibbs. She's 1 for 2. Singled to left field in the first inning and then struck out in the third inning. That pitch misses outside. Quick throw down to first, but Living able to get back easily. This one chopped foul off of home plate by Gibbs, 1-1. Again, each at bat has been a slog here on both ends, as both pitchers have had to really dig deep in order to get these outs, as nothing has come easy in the last couple of innings on either side. Taking off is Living. This one popped into the air, but going to get out of play. So the count moves to 1-2 now on Emma Gibbs. So we'll see if they elect to send Living again. Here's the 1-2. She does take off, and it's fouled off again by Gibbs. Again, it was a struggle for Elliott to record the strikeout back in the third inning against Gibbs. There's a mountain of foul balls before finally Gibbs couldn't catch up to one. We're facing down the barrel of a similar at bat here. But this time, Elliott able to really amp up that fastball and able to blow it by Gibbs for a strikeout, the first out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That is now the 7th strikeout of the game for Chloe Elliott, as she got her with that rise ball. Just reared back and fired everything she had into that one. And that'll bring up Amber Wolf, and this is one batter that Elliott has not been able to retire tonight. Again, single to center field and then a double to deep center field last time up as Wolf fouls it off, 0-1. There has not been one at bat yet in this state tournament. All 6 at bats for Wolf have all ended in a hard hit ball. It's just a matter of if it was at a defender or whether she was able to find an opening. Well, the last 3 times up, she's found the opening. And there's another big swing and fouls it into the screen as Living was on the move again. And now she'll head back to first base. Desperately trying to get her into scoring position here. And give Wolf or Noble an opportunity to drive her in and extend this lead. The 0-2. Spoiled again over towards the right side by Wolf. That's what someone told me a long time ago. It's a good sign of a hitter if you can stand in there and just fight off pitch after pitch after pitch in order to finally get the pitcher to come to you. Wolf been able to do that a few times, as now that pitch misses low, and a good jump by Living. His throw was off the mark by Gray, as she had to come from low to high to try and get rid of that ball. And even with a perfect throw, I don't think she would have had Living on that play. So Wahama does get her into scoring position, and a base hit could extend this to a 2-run lead now. Swung on, a little flare into right field, sinking fast, and it'll fall. Hops away from Law. Living gets the green light. She'll come to the plate. The throw, not in time. And moving over to second is Wolf, as Wahama has opened up a 4-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that right there, in a nutshell, has been the story of Amber Wolf in this state tournament. Again, was unable to find the gaps in the defense in those first 3 times that she was at the plate, but now that is 4 consecutive hits for her going back to the game against Petersburg. And she is 3 for 3 now tonight against Elliott. As the umpires huddle up here, I'm not sure what the discussion would be. Doesn't appear anything substantial comes from it, so I'm not for certain what they were reviewing. I'm not saying it didn't have merit by any stretch. We're just unsure of what it was that they were checking on. Coach Mosser wanted a quick explanation as to what it was, and he seemed to be satisfied with whatever he was told. Now we go back to action with Wahama now back in front by 2 runs. Again, jumped out 2-0 in the first inning. Had it erased on the 2-run home run by Elliott. And have now slowly worked their way back to a 4-2 lead, as Lauren Noble, who had that 2 RBI double in the first inning, stands in. She's 1 for 2 tonight. She grounded out to second base in her other plate appearance. That fastball hits the inside corner, 1-1. But again, the steal by Living with 2 strikes on Wolf proved to be huge. So it was able to bring her in from second. Hard hit ball to short. Nice stop by Pittman. High throw. Dodd able to snag it. Great extension there by Olivia Dodd at first base in order to make that grab. As Pittman knew she had to come up firing quick, with Noble booking it down that first baseline. And it was just on line enough and just high enough to where Dodd could get it. To record the second out, as moving over to third is Wolf. Now Victoria Van Meter climbs back in. She's 1 for 2 tonight. Struck out in the first and doubled to deep right center fielder last time up. That pitch misses outside, 1-0. This one hit hard down the right field line, but that's going to hook foul. And out of play as Law gave chase. But it was absolutely rocketed by Van Meter, so just no chance for Law to get there. That'll bring the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Elliott desperate to try and end this bottom of the 5th inning. Foul ball again. So that'll move the count to 1-2. Again, Ritchie County and Elliott realizing that if this gets into a further deficit, even though they've had opportunities against Living tonight, it's asking a lot to try and put up 3 and 4 runs on her with just 6 outs to spare right now. This one hammered down the right field line again, but that one's going to slice foul. The count remains 1-2. As we mentioned at the top of this inning, just the last 2 or 3 innings alone, every at-bat has been highly contested on both ends. There's just not been any 1 or 2 pitch outs anymore, and Van Meter again fouls off a 1-2 pitch. This has already been a 7-pitch at bat, and that seems like light work. That just goes to show that the familiarity between these two ball clubs. You run into each other for 4 times during the season, you're going to know each pitcher and each club's strategy. Is that's going to be a high chopper over third, and that's going to be a hit, and that's going to make it a 5-2 lead as Wolf able to score from third. As Jones was playing in, but even if Jones had been playing back, that ball would have gotten over her head. Pittman was able to back it up nicely, but she just had no opportunity to try and throw out Van Meter on that play. And an RBI single for Van Meter has now extended this lead to 5-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Now you get Morgan Christian standing in. Christian 1 for 2 in this game, grounded out to shortstop, and had the RBI triple in the 4th inning that gave Wahama the lead back at 3-2. This lineup for Wahama, just like Ritchie, just so difficult 1 through 9 to navigate your way through. Morgan Christian has 4 hits in this tournament, and she's batting in the 6th spot. Just to give you an idea of how difficult each batter in this lineup has been for Elliott to try and retire. She works herself ahead again here as Christian falls behind 1-2. Again, getting ahead hasn't been the issue for Elliott. It's been able to find a way to finish off the at-bat. These Wahama hitters are just relentless at staying alive and staying in the count. There's a foul ball by Christian. Two runs already across this inning, a runner at first with 2 outs. Strike 3 called on the inside corner as she freezes Christian for the 3rd out and the 8th strikeout of the evening for Elliott to retire the side here in the bottom of the 5th, but 2 more runs plated by Wahama. They open up a 5-2 lead as we go to the top of the 6th, as you are watching the Class A state tournament with us right here live on Video Productions. Five to 2, Wahama leads it as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Chris Kidd with you, with Joe Mounts, our engineer, Garrett Lester, our camera operator, as Mikey Living goes back out onto the hill with now a 3-run lead at her back with a swing and a miss. Brings the count to 1-1. So it'll be Lily Law, Macy Ireland, and Carly Sanju this inning for Ritchie County. They're going to try and see if the bottom of their order can start a rally here against Living. And Living would like nothing more than a comfortable inning after having what has been 2 very stressful games on the hill thus far. But then again, I don't know. Living appears to enjoy this. We said she was in trouble in 5 of the 7 innings she pitched earlier today against Petersburg. And by trouble, I qualify that as runners in scoring position. And again, that's just my qualifier. Obviously, many more people out there are much more knowledgeable about softball and baseball than I am, but that's just from my vantage point, so you can take my thoughts on that with a grain of salt. But in 5 of those 7 innings, she had runners in scoring position and was able to work her way around most of the trouble. Thus far tonight, had bases loaded with 1 out. Has had 2 innings with runners at second and third with 2 outs. Is a swing and a miss. Now brings the count to 3-2. But thus far, 4 of the 5 innings here tonight, there have been runners in scoring position at some point in the inning. Now Lily Law. Here's 1 for 2 with a ground out and a single in this game. Trying to reach to give Ritchie County an opportunity here in the 6th, but that door is slammed shut for the time being. As Living picks up another strikeout and comes from behind at 3-1 at that at bat to retire the first batter of the inning. Well, just a reminder that whether you need help with landscaping or the perfect manicured lawn, call All Seasons Lawn and Landscaping. Again, All Seasons Lawn and Landscaping, proud supporters of girls softball and the Ritchie County Lady Rebels. Now 1 away here in the top of the 6th inning as Ritchie County down to their final 5 outs. They need 3 runs. Strike 1 on the outside corner to Ireland. Ireland 1 for 2 thus far tonight. Struck out in the 2nd inning and singled to center field in the 4th inning. That rise ball misses 1-1. We mentioned Ireland really came on in the second half of the season. Earned her way into the designated player position with her bat. Started to bat around 500 near the end of the year with 7 RBI. Trying to find a hit here that will put a jolt into this Ritchie County offense. That pitch catches the inside corner, 2-2. Again, you're starting to see more and more of Living able to find her location. She fell behind so many batters this morning, but was able to dig her way out of trouble. But now she's starting to hit some of her spots more and more as the evening moves along. Now looking for another punch out, 2-2. That misses outside, 3-2. Elliott struck out her 8th batter last inning to end the bottom of the 5th inning. This would give 8 strikeouts to Living if she were able to get it, but instead induces a pop-up on the infield. Gibbs barely had to move a foot or 2 for it as it was right to her, and that'll be out number 2. So that'll bring up Carly Sanju, who's 0 for 4 in the tournament, 0 for 2 tonight. She's grounded out twice in this contest. Living looking for her second 1-2-3 inning of the ball game and her 3rd of the day overall in the 2 games she's pitched. Again, if you're just joining us, Living has pitched every pitch this season for the Wahama White Falcons. This gets a first pitch strike, 0-1. But again, she has pitched all 26 games now on the season and has been able to pick up the win each time, including 14 shutouts. But here today, Petersburg and Ritchie County have made her work for every out, and she's been able to oblige by getting herself out of trouble, and just a sophomore has shown so much mental toughness on the hill in these pressure situations, and now looking for a quick 1-2-3 to send it to the bottom of the 6th. Rise ball misses 1-2. Again, 1 strikeout away from equaling Elliott's total of 8 strikeouts Here comes the 1-2 offering. This is high, 2-2. Good eye from Sanju. Would like to try and turn this lineup over if she can. Again, Sanju, the number 8 hitter in the lineup. If she can reach, it will bring up Jones. And they would at least have the top of their order going into the 7th inning. Fastball misses outside, 3-2. So Sanju has worked her way out of an 0-2 hole and is dug back to a full count. Now here comes the payoff pitch to the Ritchie County third baseman. Fouled off to the right. Count remains full, or I should say, Sanju, the center fielder for Ritchie County. Living ready to go once again. A payoff pitch, misses high, ball 4, and a great job by Sanju. Not giving in that at bat, continued to work it, and is able to draw the second walk of the evening off of Living. Yeah, that's the first walk she's given up since the second batter of the game whenever she walked Jeffrey. That'll bring up Chaselyn Jones, the third baseman. As we said, that will at least turn the lineup over back to the top of the order in the 7th inning. If not, give Pittman a chance should Jones reach. Jones is 0-2 tonight. Trying to find a hit or a way to reach base here to give Pittman an opportunity. This one slapped towards second. Gibbs on it. Throws over to first. In time to Miller for out number 3. And now we go to the bottom of the 6th inning with Wahama still in control as they lead at 5-2, trying to continue their perfect season. As you are listening to and watching the Class Single A State Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions. Inning we go with Wahama leading at 5-2 over Ritchie County. Chris Kidd with you. Joe Mounts, our engineer. With Garrett Lester, our camera operator. His first pitch swinging and missing is Knapp, 0-1. Knapp 0-2 thus far tonight. Struck out in the 2nd inning, grounded out to the right side in the 4th inning. Had a single in the first game earlier today against Petersburg. Tries to lay down a bunt and fouls it off, 0-2. Ritchie County down to their final 3 outs. Elliott trying to keep this at a 3-run game to give them an opportunity. Again, they've had several chances here tonight. Trying to find one more if they can get to the top of the 7th inning. Elliott, 8 strikeouts here tonight. Looking for number 9 right here. Would match the total she had in the first game against Midland Trail, and there it is. Second time she retires Knapp via the strikeout, and that'll bring up Miller. Just a reminder that West Virginia teens are changing the game. West Virginia Game Changers is an initiative designed to educate, support, and empower our youth to make healthy choices as they prepare to be our leaders of tomorrow. First pitch to Miller misses, 1-0. Miller 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out to shortstop and struck out in her last plate appearance. As we mentioned earlier, had that big 2 RBI single that tied the game in the bottom of the 6th earlier today, and this one could send it to a 4-run lead, and it does as Miller crushes one over the left field wall. And for the second game in the row, Deborah Miller comes through in the 6th inning for Wahama, and they have now opened up a 4-run lead on Ritchie County. She is mobbed by her teammates at home plate. And that could very well be the hit that puts Wahama in the state championship tomorrow and 1 win away from a perfect season. It has been threatened here in these first 2 games of the state tournament, but this ball club has dug deep and has found a way to knock off Petersburg earlier today, 6-5. And after this game being tied 2-2 in the 5th inning, or 4th inning rather, able to fight their way back and get 4 runs now off of Elliott as that bunt goes right back to Elliott. Tough snag by Dodd and able to make it. Wow, what a play by her. She's had so many great catches and digs over at first base tonight. She has done an outstanding job in the field for Ritchie County. And that'll be the second out of the inning as Mikey Living will stand in. As this one hit back up the middle off the glove of Elliott, and absolutely no chance to throw her out after that. And that'll go down as a hit for Living. Her first of this game, now her 3rd of the state tournament. And that'll bring up Emma Gibbs. Yeah, the second that went off of Elliott's glove, you knew there was really no chance at all to get Living with how quick she is down the first base side. And now you get Emma Gibbs standing in 1 for 3 tonight. Singled to left her first time up, has struck out in 2 very long at bats the last 2 times against Elliott as they battled and battled before Elliott was finally able to put her away both times. She gets hit 0-1 here. Strike 2 on the inside corner, 0-2. Now we go back to what we've seen the last couple of times between these two. Elliott will get ahead on 2 strikes, and then we start the foul ball parade with her and Gibbs as these two just kind of know each other's ins and outs pretty well at the plate and on the mound. So let's see who wins this battle. This is going to be a high chopper up the middle, going to be a tough play, fielded by Pittman and able to step on the bag in order to retire Living, who is digging for second on the play. But a solo blast by Deborah Miller has given Wahama a 6-2 lead as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Last call for Ritchie County after this, as you're listening to and watching the Class A State Softball Tournament right here on Video Productions.
First set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
6-2, Wahama leads it as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Chris Kidd here with you. Joe Mounts, our engineer, along with Garrett Lester, our camera operator, is there. You see the solo blast by Deborah Miller that gave Wahama a 6-2 lead last inning. Incidentally, my mother's name is Deborah Miller, so it's been kind of odd sitting here calling her name out all day today, but perhaps that was the best omen for Wahama fans out there listening. But again, my mother, she openly admitted that she never was the best softball player, but I guess she can live vicariously through the name of this Deborah Miller, who's had 2 very clutch hits in each game here in this state tournament for Wahama now. As Living will go to work against the top of the order for Ritchie County. They need a 4 spot in order to push this game further, or else they'll be coming back tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. in less than 12 hours from now to try and fight their way into the state championship against what at the moment looks as if it's going to be Wahama, as Wahama looking to knock them off for the 4th time this season. This one hammered into left field for Pittman, and that'll be another hit for her. She is now 3 for 4 tonight in this game with 3 singles and a ground out, and was 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a walk in the first game. So she has reached base 6 of the 7 times she has come to the plate in this state tournament with 5 hits. Now that'll bring up Marissa Jeffrey. Living deals. It's a chopper between first and second, gets by, and everyone's going to be safe. So now all of a sudden, back-to-back hits to start the top of the 7th inning, and nobody out, brings up the heart of the order for Ritchie County. And you've got Chloe Elliott standing in. She's 1 for 2 tonight. Popped out to shortstop, had the 2-run home run to right center field, and then was hit by a pitcher last time up. A hit here can make things mighty interesting, as this one hit between third and short, and that's through for a hit. They're going to round Pittman. She'll come to the plate. Runner going to third, and she'll be in safely. And 3 straight hits to start the top of the 7th inning. And just like that, the tying run is coming to the plate. The 3rd RBI of the night for Chloe Elliott has now given her team at least an opportunity to tie this game with nobody out and runners at the corners. And now Kiera Weekly will come on to courtesy run in place of Elliott. And Olivia Dodd stands in. She's 0 for 3 tonight. Reached on an error, struck out, and grounded out. Had a single and a double in the first game today against Midland Trail. Is now Weekly waits and waits to see if Wolf will throw down or not. She won't, as she'll move into scoring position. So a base hit here could cut this lead to 1. A home run would tie this ball game up. And once again, Living finds herself in a jam. Again, last inning was able to work through that with only 1 base runner. But now in 14 innings pitched, this is 10 times out of 14 innings where she has faced runners in scoring position. Does she have one more dig in her today? Swing and a miss by Dodd, 0-2. I don't know what it is about Mikey Living. She gets in this situation, it's almost like her brain zeroes in and her focus becomes laser sharp. If she does this one more time today, it's going to be one of the most impressive mentally tough things I've ever seen in any sport. And there's strike 3 as she freezes Dodd on the outside corner. 1 away now in the top of the 7th inning. J.C. Gray stands in, batting .366 on the season, 6 doubles. Picked up her second home run of the season with that blast in the first game against Midland Trail, along with 8 RBIs. Does she have a blast left in her here to try and extend this game to the bottom of the 7th inning? Strike one on the outside corner, 0-1. Again, this is eerily turning similar to the ending of the first game today between Wahama and Petersburg, the 0-1. That one misses just low as you hear some of the groans from the Wahama side, 1-1. But it was 6-3 against Petersburg earlier today with Living on the mound. And all of a sudden, Petersburg started coming up with hit after hit. Eventually would load the bases with 2 outs and the score 6-5 before Living was able to induce a ground out to preserve that win for Wahama. Here's the 1-1. Gray fouls it off to the left, 1-2. Lily Law stands on deck, wondering what situation she'll come into here. As Gray climbs back in, down 1-2, and there's a strikeout. Strikeout number 9 by Mikey Living. And now the last hope coming to the plate for Ritchie County could be Lily Law. And here you see it on our instant replay. Once again, just Living able to reach back and find that little extra when she has to have it. Now could this be yet one more dramatic inning where Living's able to avoid trouble? That pitch misses inside, 1-0. Again, it started with a Pittman single, a Jeffrey single, an RBI single by Elliott, and now back-to-back strikeouts of Dodd and Gray. Law tonight, 1 of 3, grounded out to third, singled to left field, and struck out in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Wahama has never been to the state softball tournament before as a school. And now that they're here, they're looking to complete an undefeated season. They are at 25-0 right now, looking to move to 26-0. Ritchie County trying to break the spell of the 3 losses they've had to Wahama this year, but now they're down to their final strike. 1-2 the count now. The Wahama fans climb to their feet. You can hear the dugout excited, ready to explode. As one more strike, one more out will put them in the state championship game tomorrow at 2 p.m. Ball 2 misses outside. Second and third for Ritchie County. The tying run at the plate. Law climbs in as Living gets rid of the rosin bag, and here we go. Slap between third and short. Noble up with it, fires to first. In time to Miller, and Wahama is in the state championship game for the first time in school history. And what a performance today by Mikey Living. She may not have been the dominant self that they saw during the regular season, but whenever she had to dig herself out of trouble, she did so and did it repeatedly in both games today. And just one of the most impressive, mentally tough performances you'll see from any pitcher or any athlete at this level or any level, as Ritchie County battled back hard but come up just short, and now they will go into the finals of the losers bracket tomorrow to face off against Petersburg to see who gets a shot at Wahama in the state championship tomorrow. We'll step aside for our final break and be back after this as you're watching the Class A state tournament with us right here on Video Productions.
The earth beneath my feet is turning like a wheel and beating like a drum.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again.
Now that the world keeps turning around.
Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Boy, getting older is pretty stressful. Am I right, girls?
No kidding, Sandy. It seems like every morning I see a new driveway crack.
My deck sure isn't as level as it used to be.
You've got to keep up appearances, though, right?
Mm-hmm. You got that right.
It's time to stop worrying about your concrete problems. Give us a call today and rest easy tonight.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd here with you as Wahama knocks off Ritchie County 6-3 to move into the state championship game tomorrow and a chance to complete an undefeated season. And again, it's been a great day of softball here from Kraft Field. Again, first Ritchie County knocking off Midland Trail 9-1. Then you had the great comeback by Wahama to defeat Petersburg 6-5. Then Petersburg eliminating Midland Trail 11-5 earlier this evening. And now there you see the solo blast again by Deborah Miller that extended the Wahama lead to 6-2 as they were able to pull away in the later innings in order to get their fourth win over Ritchie County this evening at 6-3, or this season, I should say, 6-3. And again, join us tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. as it'll be Ritchie County against Petersburg to see who will face off against Wahama in the championship game. Wahama's not lost at all this season, and Ritchie County or Petersburg will have to knock them off twice in order to claim the state championship. The state championship will begin at 2 p.m. right here on Video Production. So make sure you're with us for another great day of softball action coming your way starting in less than 12 hours. So for Garrett Lester and Joe Mounts, I'm Chris Kidd saying so long from Kraft Field in South Charleston, West Virginia, where you've been watching the Class A State Softball Championships with us right here on Video Productions.